the report of war.
Wait! That athleticism flabbergasted! It was.
I had it playing on too fast of a speed because I have ADD, so I watch all my YouTube videos at 1.5 speed. So let me try.
Really?
You get more videos in. Anyway, here. This is what really was.
Videos.
Wait! That athleticism flabbergasted! It was.
Matt Hardy never afraid to appreciate his opponent's talents.
And the thing is, I don't know if Bray Wyatt.
Look at this, is a standing ovation.
That to me might have been the greatest part of Raw.
Wyatt just brought in Matt Hardy.
It was wonderful, as he said.
It's nothing to buy into, but let me take this, Corey.
What's
Bray
this?
Wyatt got thrown in on some lake, and now he's woken, and he's a tag team champion with Matt Hardy. That's all you need to know.
He just Michael Cole just gave maybe the most succinct version of that origin story. He just I don't fucking know. He fell in a lake. That shit happened. Thank you, Michael Cole.
Might as well have said he fell in the thing to do the stuff with the thing.
That's right. He did stuff and things. So welcome to the War Report, brought to you by TagMeDate.com, the first and only dating site exclusively for fans of pro wrestling. We got a roster of over 75,000 superstars and divas, 80,000 superstars and divas, whatever it is, all ready, willing, and able to meet you. So you can find your tag team match on TagMeDate.com. It is free to sign up. We will have some apps coming up soon, Android and iOS apps. They are wonderful, yes. And you'll see them soon. We watched the whole video. Some guy who I think was a Singh brother was walking us through the iPhone app, and it's good stuff. So the Singh brothers have been working very hard on our iPhone app. And it's almost here. So sign up for tagmedate.com. You'll get a notification. We'll send you some notifications on social media when the apps are ready in the Google Play Store and the iTunes Store. I'm excited about that. But anyway, we've got a lot to talk about that's not just about Tag Me a Date, although I'm sure we could sit here and talk about that for a while. But we've got a lot of wrestling stuff to go over. So I'll kind of hand it around the room here. I hope everybody's having a good day so far. Steve, why don't you start things off?
It'd be my pleasure. I actually, before we dive into Raw, SmackDown, Money in the Bank, all the good stuff, and I've been bringing this up pretty much every week now, and we've been talking more and more about the John Cena and Nikki Bella situation. And not to turn this into a fucking soapbox, but I'm finding it fascinating because I've been convinced that it's a work.
Yeah, and you're being proven right day by day.
And I am being proven right day by day. However, Nikki Bella is not, in my opinion, that good of an actress. And
there it is.
I mean, listen, I love her. I just, she's not the best actress out there, right? No. So when they the day they had John Cena on the Today Show, I guess, and he did that whole heartfelt thing about actually wanting kids all of a sudden, and all this other stuff. They cornered Nikki on the carpet of something. And I want to say it was Extra or something.
Oh,
and
something.
They said, "Did you see John on the Today Show?" And she legitimately was no, I haven't.
No.
And they said, "Well, he says that he loves you and still wants to marry you and wants to be the father of your children." And she definitely seemed shocked. And she was like, all she could say was like, "I'm speechless," kind of thing.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of like, all right, massive part of me says, this is such a fucking work. The other part of me says, well, Nikki did seem kind of surprised. So I don't know.
What would be the angle if it was a work? What
for the show? All for Total Divas.
For Total Divas and Total Bellas.
Yeah, it's just to promote the reality show. Maybe what if they just didn't? What if they didn't tell Nikki It's all a work, and they just didn't tell her.
I don't know. Yeah.
Just going with her reactions, and there's gonna be a hidden camera somewhere right at the end. Vince McMahon's just gonna pop out, and confetti's gonna fall, and balloons, and John's gonna be there. They'll be like, "You got work, yay!"
Kind of like Camp WWE where he pops out of the wall, not Nikki.
I would love if they just made this an elaborate prank on her, like a punked prank that's just really deep.
That would be hilarious and so fucked up all at the same time.
Oh, I know. He's like, you remember that time you were going to go in for surgery, and right before you got put under with the anesthesia, I said, I'm going to marry you one day. I forgot to mention that I also said one day I was going to embarrass you in front of all the viewers of Total Bellas. So that's that part now.
You know what, though? But it does seem to appear that Nikki's the one that officially called it off. It wasn't John.
Yeah, I feel like I feel icky commenting on this.
Yeah.
Like, she was like obsessed with him. Like in a good way, but like still.
Yeah, I just feel like, first of all,
the Savage Elizabeth wedding is happening again. It's happening.
She's going to be wearing a sweater with sequin stars sewn into it, crying as he loses a retirement match at SummerSlam or something like that. Or whatever. They paid people to sit in the crowd and cry so they could film their reactions for that shot.
Did they really? I thought that was legit. Like
I shouldn't be so cynical, but I heard a podcast once that intimated that they paid people to sit there and cry.
I don't know if you necessarily need to. That's emotional to me, man.
Yeah, so maybe they did just get them with their good
I mean, they could have
storytelling.
planted a few.
Right. But I'm sure there were a couple people who were getting misty-eyed there. That's a big moment. I just don't want to see it again. I saw it once. It worked really well. Yeah. It's diminishing returns.
The problem is these days social media is around. So it's if social media was around back then, it would have been the same shit as it is now.
It would have been like fucking that's wrestling, whatever link it is that always has the too many ads. And they're like, shocking photos of Macho Man and Liz show up on his Instagram account. Well, they said on TV they were broken up. Oh, God. The 80s would have been ruined by Instagram and Snapchat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just ruined.
Hogan would have been Roman Reigns or John Cena at that point. You know?
I can imagine there was last year there was an NFL player who did a live Snapchat thing where his coach was talking, and after their game was over, and the coach was talking, and he was doing the Snapchat thing, and the coach was yelling at the players for being on Snapchat and posting all this shit to social media. And I can just picture something happening where someone would just Snapchat. They just hold their phone and Snapchat, and Hogan walks over to Earthquake. He's like, listen, brother, I know we talked about put you over tonight, but it's the Garden, brother. I got to go over. You know what I mean? And we're just going to see the worst moments of everybody if Snapchat and Instagram existed in the 80s.
Ooh, I tell you what, brother.
There would be more records of Andre's drinking, though. So that would
it would have been
interesting.
Nikolai Day.
Nikolai Day. Oh. That's all right. We're going to make a Happy Nikolai Day shirt. Sell it for Tag Me a Date.
I would love that day.
Because nobody would get it. I made one for Gleyber Torres from the Yankees because he got a big hit the other day. And I made one that said Happy Gleyber Day.
Good.
Yeah. Gleyber Day is now a thing in addition to Rusev Day.
What did I just walk into?
You walked into Gleyber Day.
Yeah, you walked into Nikolai. It's Nikolai Volkov Day. So you
Lord.
You have to sing the Russian national anthem.
Can I just have Hacksaw Jim Duggan come hit me from behind?
Why didn't Hacksaw Jim Duggan and The Godfather ever team up? It seems like a really obvious combination. One guy screams,
there's too much wood.
He just hose and wood. I mean, it would have been such a good tag team. Damn it. We missed out. You know what? We didn't miss out. They both still work on independent shows. That should be a tag team. I'm putting it out into the universe. I need to see that tag team.
The Ho Train.
The Ho with like 8 O's.
Yep. Speaking of tag teams,
Yes.
How about the B team?
I'm okay with this.
I think it's hilarious.
I love
it.
And I'm glad they got over. I mean, obviously they had to get over. But that was hilarious.
I'm glad they're no longer the Miz Taraj with the Miz on a completely different show.
Well, right. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, no. But they're still good. Listen, those guys are pretty good separately. They're probably better together because it just seems like there's never anything for those guys to do. They're always kind of background dudes. I don't know. I had big high hopes for Joe Hennick at one point, and then I realized he didn't wrestle like a third as good as his dad, but I still like him. And the other Bo is okay. He's a good wrestler.
And he's got a great look.
His look, his teeth freak me out. Everything else is fine. He's got pretty hair like Pocahontas too. That's the other thing. He looks like if the raccoon from Pocahontas became a real boy at the end.
I'll be honest. I still don't understand
like that.
I still don't understand why they never made Bo a Wyatt.
They even talked about it last week.
Yeah.
They were in the ring, and then Michael Cole, big dumb Michael Cole, saying when he's not saying it's boss time or the big dog, no brotherly love there. Oh, really? You've never once mentioned it on the show that they're brothers, and you're just going to just bring it up 8 years later. Okay.
Cole is an idiot.
I hate Michael Cole.
He calls him. Listen, Michael Cole's been working there forever. He was a war correspondent. He was a legitimate journalist, and now he says it's boss time. You can just tell he's picking up a paycheck.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, he's making money though, so hey, can't blame him.
Hey, money's money.
Yeah. So speaking of money, the Young Bucks and Cody.
Yeah,
have sold out their 10,000 seat arena show in
30 minutes.
That's fucking crazy.
But I heard a lot of like scalpers grab tickets.
Yeah,
I don't doubt it.
But here's
so.
They will. First of all, they are going to sell. Second of all, they said Dave Meltzer, and again, not that you want to quote Meltzer all the time, but he did research on this. He said that for SummerSlam, out of 13,000 available tickets, 4,400 of them are being resold by scalpers. Out of the 10,000 tickets that were bought for All In, he said at any given time there's about 150 reseller tickets available for sale. So they could be taken, once they sell one, they're putting more up, but it's a much lower ratio. So yes, scalpers did get to a certain batch of tickets, but it's not as like most of the people that wanted to go and made the attempt probably got their ticket. Then again, I don't know. I mean, if 10,000 sold it in half an hour, how many is 20,000? How many was there? 20,000 people that wanted to go? 30,000 people that wanted to go?
Probably.
Someone mentioned on the comments online were kind of saying, and I agree with this. They sold 10,000 tickets so quickly because it seems like a special once in a lifetime thing. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a regular thing.
True.
And what I wanted to think about, and someone brought up an interesting point that the next one may not be 10,000 seats. They might not sell 10,000 seats because it's not as special or as unique.
You know what, though? But it depends. It depends on the talent that you have going.
It depends on when
the
schedule
matches that are set up and the storylines and all that.
Yeah, because here's the thing. If you put on this show and then you want to try and put on one 3 or 4 months from now, that's probably not the deal. Doing it once a year and teasing this giant show every year would be, I think it would still sell. Maybe not 10,000. I don't know. You don't know what happens this year will determine the course they take
this year and see how great of a show it is to know if they could do 20,000 instead of 10 next year.
Yeah.
You know
did you hear CM Punk is doing an autograph signing like the weekend before?
Yeah.
Yeah, that Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah, so that will be interesting to see if he gets involved.
Next year, the Bucks and Cody Rhodes can be signed with WWE.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Well, WWE has had their eye on the Bucks for a while. In fact, pretty damn sure they've offered the Bucks deals, and the Bucks have actually turned them down.
Yeah, they weren't big enough at the time. They weren't big enough money deals, and they gambled on themselves.
Yeah, but
And
Cody
it was the
Rhodes
right
didn't
gamble.
say. Cody Rhodes said he was running for office in 2020.
I heard that too.
It's on their YouTube show though, so who knows if that's legit.
Yeah, it's not as legit as Kane winning his primary.
When he files, I'll believe, because I don't doubt that Cody's got the capacity to run for office among all the other things he does. But he would.
Well,
Now
everything
there was
that
a
happens
national
on
treasure.
TV is everything that happens on TV is legit. I mean, look at
That's
John
right.
Cena.
It's real life. we
you
talked
missed
about
that.
that in the first 10 minutes. All right. So Cody, once he files, if he files as the nominee, I'll follow it from there. But until then, I'm taking it as part of the YouTube show. Now, Kat, you weren't here earlier when we were discussing the fact that the speculation that the John Cena Nikki Bella thing is possibly it's leaning towards work.
Right. Absolutely. It's totally a work.
Yeah.
Total Bellas starts Sunday. This is a work. Mommy. Yeah, thank you. As I get called by the kid.
She got confirmation. That's all the confirmation you need. That's like when the octopus picks the World Cup games. Little kid.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Well, Nikki's going to be on the Today Show Thursday. She actually confirmed that today also.
And John Cena's going to surprise her on there.
Did you guys see her red carpet?
We just we talked about that
We
a little
talked
bit.
about all
I
that.
didn't watch it, but yeah, we discussed it a little bit before we popped on.
She's like, I'm speechless. Well, that's a first.
Yeah, right.
That ever happened, right?
Oh,
You're speechless on the red carpet before Total Bellas starts. Yeah. That's not a work.
When they were all at that the press junket, the advertisers junket for
Like
the next season.
tell her about it.
But it was so bad because she had to pretend she was surprised. The Access Hollywood guy sticks the video in her face. I haven't seen this. And no, what are you talking about? Are you fucking kidding me?
All right, I like this because this is a contrast to Steve's theory that Nikki Bella is not good enough an actress to pull this stuff off.
I haven't seen this. What are you talking about? What did he say? Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, I'm sorry. If brains were black powder, that bitch couldn't blow her nose.
I can't say that kind of thing when I'm trying to sip a soda. Whew.
Oh my
Well,
God. Sorry. Anyone Bella Nation out there, sorry, not sorry.
and this is from somebody that regularly watches the show, so don't take any offense. She does watch the show and keep up with it.
No, I watch Total Divas. I
you
don't watch Total Bellas.
Oh, excuse
I
me.
fast forward when the Bellas are on fucking, okay? I don't need to hear about Brie Bella complaining that she needs to breastfeed in a public bathroom. Been there, done that, okay?
I watch them all and I fucking love them.
That one where she was like, I think I may be the first woman that's breastfeeding in the Royal Rumble. Nobody cares. Sorry.
Just don't be breastfeeding during the
Right.
Royal Rumble
Yeah,
and we're okay.
She
That
comes
would
out
be
and
kind of funny.
she makes the Triple H entrance.
Oh no!
If the baby did the skit, they.
Oh my God.
She just comes out, Bremo, and
And then
she
it's
sprays the
shooting.
audience.
That's the new Zamboni truck.
And
No, I was
Big E
remembering-
comes out and starts mopping up the milk with some pancakes and biting it.
Oh my God.
Speaking of Big E, it sounds more and more like this not only split away from New Day is going to happen, but he's in for a huge push apparently.
I think they could stay. I want them to stay together, even though he's going to be a singles guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want them to break up. I mean,
Because
although
I
it would
think
be
him
cool
having
to
two
reunion, you know.
Yeah, but him having two hype men, like, I don't know. I feel like it would be different because we've gotten out of the, aside from Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, we really don't have like, not they'd be managers, but they'd be coming to the ring with them. It would just be a different dynamic. And even if they turned, let's say they turned heel again, they could run interference for him, and
I don't know how you turn the New Day heel at this point.
Yeah, I know. They'd have to do something real bad. But what I'm saying is, like, Jinder was able to stretch out his singles run because he's got two dudes running interference for him. And those two guys don't have the pedigree or the experience. They're still good. But what I'm saying is they don't have the pedigree or the experience of Xavier Woods and Kofi. So if you have Big E as the big singles guy, even if you did a Shield thing where one's like Austin goes down to 205 Live and Kofi's the U.S. champion or something. You know what I mean? They could all have singles titles, but still be a faction together.
Or Freebird, the world title.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I would love to if they Freebird the
Xavier Woods, WWE champion. Let that sink in for a moment.
Is that any worse than Jinder Mahal? Think about that.
You know,
I think I'd rather have Xavier.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you'd rather have Xavier because up, down, down it would be a lot more fun if he put the belt up on the line while playing video games.
Oh my god! Can you imagine?
Oh my god, that would be hilarious.
They had a good one. They're putting up good videos lately.
Hands and everything.
You'd be like, all right, listen, this is Wheel of Fortune for the Super Nintendo. Winner gets the WWE Championship.
Did you see a video of Becky Lynch riding like a fake zebra around a mall or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Only time you'll ever be jealous of a fake zebra.
Yeah, no, those things are cool to ride though.
They are.
I've seen no one over 15 ride those, aside from Becky Lynch. I didn't know that was a thing that adults do. Yeah.
Never gone to the mall with me then. Never gone to the mall with me then.
I've never gone to the Ronkonkoma Mall, whatever they call it.
It's Smith Haven Mall. Get it right.
Oh, okay.
The Boogeyman and someone else did that as well.
They're coming to get you. Was it Gangrel? It was somebody spooky.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was Gangrel or no, not Gangrel. It was Boogeyman and somebody equally like an odd choice to ride.
Papa Shango.
Papa Shango. There we go.
There.
Oh God.
Those guys are boys. I'm pretty sure. Like I think outside of wrestling, they're boys. They're both. Those guys look great. Yeah. Both of those guys look like they haven't aged a day. Godfather and oh, jeez. Go ahead, Kat.
Oh, nothing. I was agreeing with you, darling.
Sometimes I don't know between answers, like how different internet speeds affect, the responses. So just making sure that I wasn't cutting you off.
Oh, I'd cut in if I wanted to say something to you. Don't worry, I have no problem with that.
Excellent. What else is there to talk about this week, Steve? Anything you want to touch on?
Well, I guess we could touch on Roman and his actions from.
That wall had a family.
I don't know. I
don't know what they can do for this guy.
I don't know what they could do to make this better.
I don't think there's anything they can do but keep him out of the title picture.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or turn him heel.
Or have him fall off the face of the earth.
Have him go back to his roots in Hawaii.
I vote with Ryan. I vote with Ryan on that 100%.
They just throw him into a volcano.
RoboCop have.
It would be Joe versus the volcano.
You're gonna do send him to Hawaii?
Just snap him out.
We could do what they did in TNA and just have a van come up and throw him in the van like they did with Samoa Joe and never mention it again.
There's always some white van. WCW did that too, I think.
WCW had two different colored Hummers that they pretended were the same Hummer.
Didn't they have a bunch of people kidnap Flair and then nothing ever came of that?
Yes. At one time, Ric Flair was in like an insane asylum, and he was in the gown, and all the crazy people in the insane asylum. Woo! And then he comes back to the arena dressed in the damn gown. Oh, I loved WCW.
Or when they buried him out in the desert.
Oh, God. Literally burying Ric Flair or attempting to. Things got really bad between Flair and Bischoff at one point. So, yeah, they buried the shit out of him for a little while.
And the announcers couldn't say anything about it, even though they were watching it.
Yeah, nobody called the police.
The announcers couldn't. I had to pretend that they didn't know why Ric Flair was covered in dirt.
Yeah, they just didn't. I think what happened was they weren't shown the pre-tape, so they had no knowledge of what was actually happening. That's such a WCW thing, having people on your live program not know what's going on, and you have you can't fix it because it just went out into the world and is being capped. Like there was literally nothing they could do to fix it once it was out there. Whose side is he on? Thanks, Bobby Heenan. Oh, cat's back. So
it worked for Bobby Heenan.
That one worked better because he was questioning Hogan, always questioning Hogan. But like,
that wasn't.
Yeah, there was some whoppers though. There were definitely some whoppers.
Pillman came up from behind Heenan. Heenan didn't know, and he's like,
"Get the fuck off me!" It was so good. I wanted to grab. Did you ever hear? There was a radio interview with AJ Styles, and a caller asked about how he felt being an idol or like a star in the gay community. And he just goes, "The gay community?" You know, to the Southern accent. I need to find that clip one day and play it. And there's another one where somebody gave a promo or said something before his match about Austin 316, but then they said their own name, something, whatever it was, 316. But AJ didn't hear all the promo. So after the match, he was like, "Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. You want to talk about 316? You talk about John 316. He so loved the world, he gave his only son, and that son is Jesus." Like he preached in the middle of this wrestling show because he misunderstood someone's promo, and it was just a fantastic, awkward moment. I'm going to find that clip and play. We're going to have an AJ Styles clip show day, and I can play these clips. But speaking of AJ Styles, we did get one question or comment submitted in here, and it's pertaining to those guys. So AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Let me get to it. It was from VSW. I like their shoes. That's DSW. Sorry, but VSW. Name withheld, I suppose. Their question: what are your thoughts so far on the rivalry between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura? I liked it a whole lot better when it was in New Japan 4 years ago. It's an easy one. Thank you, SJW. No, wait, SVW. VSW. Law and Order SVU. VSW, thank you. Take that one around the room. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura. To me, it's not, I don't know, it's just not clicking the way it was. And I think that's mainly the booking and the finishes that they're giving him.
It's solely the finishes.
They could wrestle a 5-star match if they wanted to. If the end of the night comes with double dick kicks, the crowd's not going to like it.
No.
I'm surprised Austin wasn't against the.
Well, you cut out a little bit there.
I said I was surprised Austin wasn't against the double dick kick.
Yeah, I mean he's pitching for Roman Reigns to turn heel, which you don't hear a lot of guys do when they're doing other podcasts. They usually toe the company line about people that cheer, they cheer, and boo, they want to boo, and it's okay, it's all good. Jericho does that a lot.
Oh yeah, he's great with that.
Him and Bruce, him and Bruce are the two stars of covering for WWE during podcasts. But Jericho was saying something recently about, oh, he's so good, the fans should give him a chance. And it's like, it's not the fans' fault. I hate that attitude. Arya Davari said something on Twitter about, oh, I'm going to a concert later. I wonder if I don't like it, should I boo or start chants to talk about how much I don't like the show? And I'm like, well, my response would have been, I didn't take the time to go on Twitter and say this, but it's like, you purchased the ticket. If the performers aren't performing up to the standard of what you paid for, then you should let them know.
Yeah.
Because you're a paying customer. That's how it works. You're allowed to cheer or boo when you attend an event and pay an admission. That's what happens. So, I mean, people are going to be critical. They're always going to be critical. So, if you can't handle it, and I know he's a young guy, and it's a very recent thing for him because he went over and did that Saudi Arabia thing, and then he got like real life death threat, go away heat from a certain group of people, and he's like extrapolated that into, well, all wrestling fans are marks and we know better than them because we're in the business, which is true to a point. But if you're a chef and you spent however many years training and you worked at the French Laundry under Jacques Pepin and all this other bullshit, and you make a steak and somebody says, well, shit, you put too much pepper on that steak. It could be good to you, but to the person you just sold the steak to, there was too much pepper. You know what I mean? It's going to happen. So especially when you're in the public eye, you're technically a celebrity, although I'd hate to say Arya Daivari is a celebrity right now. He is a person that is on television. As a television personality, you should be aware that criticism is coming and deal with it in a more constructive manner, because blaming the fans is what got us to 2018. It's what got us 15 years of John Cena and another 5 of Roman Reigns. This is blaming the fans.
Blaming the fans, and you can't have the opinion because your opinion is somehow less valid.
But what I don't like is that they say, well, they're booing this guy. Why don't they cheer him? And it's like, have you ever watched a wrestling match in your life or any wrestling show before 2002? If the crowd didn't accept someone, you cut him loose or you turned him heel.
Yeah.
That's it. And you can't cut him loose because he's the big dog, but you can turn him heel. And then the other response, the 2 parts response to this is, well, if you turn him heel, then the people who booed him are going to cheer him, and the people who cheered him are going to boo him, and it's not actually going to change the response. And it's like, hold on a second. You're telling me that every single Roman Reigns fan is going to turn on him if he turns heel. And conversely, everybody that booed him is now going to cheer him. We've just taken a 50-50 split and switched it the other way. That's not what's going to happen. You're going to get
Cena situation where he's doing all the charity work.
Yeah, and I mean, he probably is behind the scenes, though.
Or he's not the top merch seller like John Cena was.
It's between him and AJ right now, isn't it?
Let's take a look.
All right, fill us in. Ryan usually knows where to look to find this stuff, so we'll get filled in. But yeah, I don't like the argument that because that's like saying, well, you read a book and you didn't like it. Well, have you ever written a book? Are you an author? It's like, no, but I read the book and I didn't like it. Did you ever direct a movie?
How's your territory doing?
Yeah, seriously, it's like, have you ever produced a movie, shot, edited, and directed it yourself, a 3-hour feature with a soundtrack scored by John Williams? No, but if I watched the movie and I didn't like it, I'm going to say I didn't like it. Fuck. I hate
You're
that.
not allowed to have an opinion.
Argument. It's the worst argument. It's the absolute worst argument, because then you don't have an argument.
I understand that people do complain just to complain. I know there are those people, but why is it that we're all of a sudden not allowed to complain?
Everyone's lumped into the same group. They're because we're in 2018 and there's no discretion or discerning anymore. It's very, you're either in one party or you're in another. You're in one camp or you're in another. There's no shades of gray in the middle. For everybody claiming that gender is a spectrum and autism is a spectrum, we don't have a spectrum of ideas. You're either on one camp or the other. It's not like you can reside somewhere in the middle. If you're in the middle, you're thrown on the other side. It's so fucked up that we just, because there are people in the middle. Like, I feel like we're a nice sum average here of we don't shit on everything. When we're displeased with something, we say we're displeased with it. But when we enjoy it, Braun Strowman, Matt Hardy doing the broken stuff, Dean Ambrose got a good reaction from us. Seth Rollins has always gotten a pretty good reaction from. We don't just sit here and shit on the WWE for an hour every week. We're right in the middle there. But to be, if you tweet something to Arya Daivari, suddenly you're one of those marks who just complains about everything. It's like, there's a middle ground somewhere.
Always the middle ground.
All right, so what's the research say on this shirt thing?
I found 1 or 2, and it's placing Roman Reigns at tied for second with Rollins.
No shit.
And who's number 1?
Give me a second. John Cena.
John Cena still pushing merch all these years later.
That's for shirt sales?
Yeah.
Really?
I'll pass along the link I just had.
John Cena is just a perennial fucking merch pusher, and I never got it. I know it's one of those things. It's like cilantro. You either like it or you don't like it. I've never got it. He's not a bad wrestler. His promos are okay too. But the fact that he's up there as a Hall of Famer in the fucking Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, it just blows my mind. Like, I don't know. I think back and I go Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Ric Flair, Harley Race, fucking John Cena. What? It never jived with me, man. It's so weird to think that now maybe it's just me getting old, but to think of John Cena as a soon to be retiring potential future Hall of Famer, I don't know, man. It's so
brother,
weird.
It's not potential. I mean, he's 100%.
He's locked in, but you know what I mean? Like he's not in there yet. He's not calling it a day.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it's been that long as well.
It doesn't. It's true. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. That's like when Derek Jeter retired. I'm like, am I old now? I remember when Derek Jeter started his rookie season and now he's retired. Am I old?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now that you said that, I have to. You reminded me of something. Happy Mother's Day to Kat. Happy Mother's Day, Stacy. Tell Stacy Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. I will.
And Amanda, Happy Mother's Day to our future children. See, you're gonna tell me I'm getting old. I'm gonna tell you that we're gonna have you're gonna have kids with an old man. Sorry, man. I'm writing to immigration services to make sure you lose your U.S. citizenship, so you have to marry me to get back into the United States. That's the plan. To convince them you're part of Hamas.
She is married to Ben.
She is in Toronto. Oh shit.
Hey.
There is a. We're just saying, population-wise, there's a certain population, and if we wanted to say you're part of Hamas, maybe they'd buy it because you live in Toronto and you got radicalized.
Wow.
Maybe, just maybe.
She saw.
We could pull it off.
Videos.
No, I feel for Toronto and Canada and all the bad shit that's mirrored what's happened here. So they're nice. They all seem like nice people. I've never really met a rude Canadian.
No, none of us are rude.
Even when I met Kevin Owens, and I thought he was gonna be like mean, but he was very nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kevin Owens.
Moving right along.
Kevin Owens, I mean, it's a good segue. We're talking about Canadians. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Love them. Love them together.
Does one of these guys take the fucking briefcase?
Ooh.
Where are we going with this briefcase? Now, somebody clarify for me, because I honestly don't pay that much attention. Is there one men's briefcase?
Mm-hmm.
And you can challenge for either title?
Yeah.
So it's a toss-up as to whether a SmackDown or Raw guy wins it, and then it's a toss-up between which brand they even go to defend it. I like that. So, but that also throws in, do you have Big E start his big run by abandoning SmackDown and going to Raw and winning the world, the Universal title? Or is it like one of those guys like Kevin Owens and he goes back and wins the SmackDown title because he wants to put the screws to Daniel Bryan and put the screws to Shane McMahon?
I think Braun Strowman is winning Money in the Bank.
But the problem is you have to overthink this stuff because you know how badly they overthink it.
I don't think Braun needs the Money in the Bank.
No, he just needs the title. But
he doesn't need Money in the Bank to get the title.
We have to ding around because fucking Roman Reigns gets his 12th title shot for no reason. It makes no sense to me. Even if you lost the match.
Well, Kurt did tell him that he's been told you get no more shots.
That means he gets all shots.
Right, yeah. Which is like wrestling retirements and those matches where if you lose, you can never challenge for a world championship again.
That's like someone dying. That's like someone dying on a soap opera. It always comes back.
Stepping out of a limousine and blows up. Wow.
Yeah, and Paul London smiles.
Oh, poor Paul London. The only people that got it worse than Paul London was the Benoit family in that whole situation. It was like the Benoit family and then Paul London because he got fired. I'm saying they suffered more, obviously, but I mean, he lost his job over smiling at an angle that was tanked a week later. He didn't even do anything.
Also, the angle was pretty stupid.
This is true.
And everybody knows Paul London is high 24/7, so of course he's going to smile at you. Oh, did I just?
Nothing's better than when Dean Ambrose smiled when the snake was on him. When Jake the Snake Roberts did that on that old Raw. Old Raw.
That was funny because it almost looked like he was happy, like
his childhood dream just came true.
He looked like he was going to start making out with the snake. That's how happy he was.
And then you hear Road Dogg. It's PG, Jake. It's PG, Jake. Don't stick it down there.
Oh. And he couldn't do the old Heroes of Wrestling when he came out and started jerking off the snake.
Oh my god!
I know. So okay, something that we should have talked about a little earlier because it did come up over the weekend and then it became a thing on Monday Night Raw. Out of nowhere, with no build-up and no rivalry and no nothing, Ronda's getting her first title shot against Nia Jax.
All right, so here's my thing, and I'm so fucking glad you brought this up.
Like I said, we should have led with this one. This one is important.
Yeah, we really should have, and I can't believe I forgot about it because this is something that really pisses me off. And the thing is, I can appreciate Ronda, like, all right, look, I know it was probably written, but when she found out about this challenge and she seemed also surprised, I appreciate the fact that the first words out of her mouth were, there are other people that are more deserving than me, and I don't want it. And then they're pushing for it, and then she agrees to it.
She's handling it correctly.
Correct. But on WWE's part, Ronda's right. I mean, she does not deserve the title, and I think if she loses, the only way she loses is because of a DQ or outside interference.
Yeah, that's what I'm
thinking. Does Natty turn heel and say, you're not getting a title before me?
What about a cash-in?
Well, there's that too.
Yeah, and that person enters the match and pins Nia. Little Seth Rollins-y situation. I don't know. I don't.
But how does Ronda lose already?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. She can't. I don't like this at all because Ronda shouldn't be in a position to lose, and she also shouldn't be in a position where Nia is not Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Nia is not Charlotte or Becky or Sasha or Bailey, who can lead Nikki Cross, Sarah Del Rey. There are a lot of women who they could. Serena Deeb. There's a lot of women that they could call in to wrestle. That's a veteran. Mercedes Martinez, anyone from the Mae Young Classic. You can bring them in and wrestle with Ronda, and they're going to have a good match because they're going to lead the match, and Ronda can obviously follow instructions very well because of how good her debut was. Right. So if you put her in there in that situation, you're setting her up to succeed. When you're putting her in there with somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience and isn't really known as being the best wrestler, you're setting them both up to fail because Nia already kind of has a reputation, so to speak, for being, like I said, not the best wrestler, and for like dropping a leg drop on somebody and hurting them or missing spots. And like, she's gotten better. She has improved. But to have her against Ronda, you're asking a lot of Ronda, who's only wrestled 5-10 wrestling matches in her life on television. So it's like the AJ Shinsuke thing when we talked about it last week. If your finish is what's holding back the match from being good, you fucking get rid of the finish. You don't shoehorn the finish in and just say, oh, it'll be better next month. If the idea of Nia Ronda seems like a bad idea, it's probably a bad idea.
And there's been a lot of backlash on this too.
And I feel bad because Ronda should be set up to win a world title eventually.
You know when you put the belt on her, you put it on her at WrestleMania.
Right.
It's a whole year, and you let her have her Mania moment. That's when you do it. You don't do it before then.
I agree. And
You
It
know,
should be built properly.
she could have had a feud right now with Mickey James.
Right.
They could have had Natty already turn and have those two go at it. I mean, there were so many opportunities of what you could have done with Ronda, and instead now you're putting her in a title match with Nia Jax at a pay-per-view, at a big pay-per-view. Money in the Bank is considered a big pay-per-view now.
Yeah.
And it's a mistake. It's a mistake.
Yeah, and I feel bad because I do want to see Ronda succeed, and it just seems like they're making these decisions, and they're at the risk of Roman Reignsing Ronda by pushing her too hard too soon.
They're going to have the straps possibly on 2 UFC MMA fighters.
Oh yeah, the 2 women's titles because Shayna Baszler's in NXT. Yeah.
No, I meant Brock and Ronda.
Oh, Brock and Ronda. Yeah, they'll bring that up too. I mean, listen, I feel like they have to know that there's a way out of this, and somebody's going to cash in and make it a triple threat match and pin Nia, or somebody's going to interfere and screw over Ronda, and then Ronda feuds with that person over who gets an eventual title shot. I don't know. I just feel like this is all way too soon.
But you think you would have the women's Money in the Bank before Ronda and Nia? Because if you don't have the best,
they could open the show with the women.
They're not going to open the. Yeah, that's true.
They opened it with the men's last year, so the women could get the main event, right?
Right.
Yeah. So they could do it the other way.
And they only gave the women the main event last time because it was the first ever.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. But, and it's all on how they want to set it up. If they want to set up somebody cashing in on the show, you book that match before the match that they're interfering in. So it could not necessarily tip their hand as to what they want to do, but it's very possible. The first few matches or the timing of the Money in the Bank matches is relative to the championship matches puts a big question mark on everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Especially when it opens up to both brands, because then if, let's say the women's title goes on, the women's Money in the Bank goes on as the first match, you could potentially have 2 SmackDown, a SmackDown and a Raw women's title defense, and the tension is on both of those matches, is somebody going to interfere? What's going to happen? You don't know. So it makes things a little more interesting.
Do you think they would main event with Ronda Rousey?
I would not do that with Nia Jax. I wouldn't do that 3 months into Ronda's wrestling career. I would do that in a year at WrestleMania at MetLife Stadium against Charlotte or someone of Charlotte's caliber. Right, yeah. Charlotte or someone of Charlotte's caliber needs to be wrestling Ronda, and then that would absolutely justify. I think Charlotte would be the one because that's the one that would sell. That would be the biggest money match right now based on how everybody's built up. The only 2 people
she's a little more well known than Asuka.
Right, and not that Asuka's English holds her back, but Asuka's English holds her back a little bit. It's unless she gets a manager and so that somebody makes the match for her. You know what I mean? We're unfortunately still in an era, especially since most of the people that watch wrestling are in English-speaking countries or understand English as a second language. It's the base of the country. So it's the base of it's the fan base, and it's the most spoken language of the fan base. So to be able to make that connection with them, like Shinsuke, I feel bad. He's the only thing that's again seemed weak for him was promos. Now he's doing the no speaky English thing, and it's fucking brilliant. It's perfect for what he needs to do. It's absolutely perfect. But yeah, Asuka is still very well protected. She's only ever lost 1 match. Is that me? That might have been me. Whoa.
That's
what the hell that was.
Hey, by the way, I don't know if anyone gives a shit, but apparently it's been announced that Rich Swann has joined Impact.
Oh yes, I heard that. Can they handle this?
I don't know if they
can.
But is that him and the girl that he had the domestic with her? But I know they're together, and they said there's no problems now, and it was a misunderstanding. But still, it's a little.
She's his wife.
I know, but it's still weird. They had a domestic, and then you would make more. Here's what would make more sense: him and his wife worked for the same company. He got fired and went and worked for a different company. it happened in reverse. They were working for two separate companies. He got fired and then joined the company he was with. It's another weird situation for me.
Yeah, it's completely
It's also the
different than
stupidest
theirs.
reason to get into a fight. He's trying to tell her how to wrestle. She won the match.
I would hate being in the same industry as the person I'm married to. You know how those conversations would go. Because then what if she starts giving him shit about, oh, you fucked that spot up last night? And like, you know, is she allowed? She's going to fire back, and then we're right back at the same thing. He's going to hit that stupid spinning back kick on her. Like somebody's going to call the cops.
And you go, well, guess what? You're not on top tonight, bitch.
Just guess who's sleeping on the couch tonight?
That's right.
Oh, what if the one of the stipulations that the court put in place was that they need to have a referee in their house at all times to manage any disputes that they have. So when they start a fight, a guy and say, hey, break it up for 1, 2, 3, I said back it up 3, 4, get out of it. You know what I mean? Just directing traffic in the house. He's like, Rich, you do the dishes. You go out and take the trash out. Get out of here. 1, 2, take the trash out. 3, 4, I'm going to count you out.
Do they get a 5? Do they get 5 or do they get the 10?
I think they get a 5 to reach.
You get 5.
You get a 5 to reach the trash, and you get a 10 count to bring it out and back inside. I think that seems fair. The court would mandate that too. You just see Rich Swann holding the tag rope while doing the dishes. I'm sorry. That's deep. Nobody gets the. Nobody likes the tag rope. Nobody likes the tag.
No, I never liked that.
It's just in there to create more. Oh, he can't let go of the rope, but there's no fucking penalty if you let go of the rope. Nobody cares.
They
only ever enforce it on the baby face.
It's the weirdest thing.
It's the baby tag rope.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much the baby face tag rope because the heels don't ever hold on to it. They don't give a shit. What's going to happen on SmackDown tonight? Somebody fill me in.
I can tell you exactly what happens.
Oh, is it pre? No, don't spoil it. Just give me the headlines.
I was joking. I was hoping someone would cut me off.
Yes. Well, I mean, I guess if you really didn't, if you didn't want to wait another 9 minutes and then sit through a show, we can spoil it for you. But no, go ahead.
We'll cut something off. So
yeah.
I know there's an AJ Shinsuke match.
Yes. This stipulation will be decided.
It's gonna be nuts.
New Day versus the Bar for the last Money in the Bank type spot. Carmella's throwing a celebration.
Oh, the celebration, right?
Oh God.
The Royal Celebration.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah.
I don't.
CN debuting.
Who debuts?
CN.
Yes, he's good. I'm looking forward to that. So the one thing that worries me in there is the New Day Bar match, because if the New Day loses, this, as we discussed earlier, could be setting up Big E breaking away from the group.
It's a matter. I mean, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Damn.
I think we'll be okay.
I mean, we'll all survive. We've survived 5 years of the reigns of terror. So
I haven't.
Oh. Yeah, I know. I feel like I watch the product a lot less, but at the same time, it allows me to explore other options. So I got to watch like more New Japan now than I ever did. So I guess it's a fair trade-off. I still watch wrestling. I just watch different wrestling.
He drives me nuts.
The AJ Shinsuke thing. It's becoming less special.
Testy.
Every time they do the match, it becomes less special. That's my issue with it. So it's a special thing to have these two legendary performers in the ring with one each other. And I know they haven't lived up to that standard yet. And they're both a decade older than they should be being in the WWE. They should have been here a long time ago. I get that. But they're ruining the specialness of this match by having it at every pay-per-view, and every live event, and every taping. And Shinsuke just keeps hitting him in the dick, and nobody learns their lesson to wear a fucking cup. Unless it's a cup on a pole, Moggle. Cup on a pole. Cup on a pole. Cup on a pole.
I got it. It's a cup on a pole ranch on pole match.
Oh man.
You just oh no.
I took it up.
God.
Oh no. I
went there.
It's not special anymore. Like I want these matches to be special. I want them to mean something. If he's just gonna play ball sack bongos on him every time, like it's less special every time they do it.
English, I kick you in dick.
Did you just say ball sack bongo?
Yes, I did. The good thing is, as long as they keep reminding people that Shinsuke is Japanese, he can never say, me Chinese, me play joke, me put pee-pee in your Coke. Thank God for that.
Wow.
He can still say that.
Vince is calling the headset like, yeah, have him do the pee-pee in your Coke thing. Hey, this is going to be hilarious. Watch.
Do it, motherfucker, do it.
You just see Corey Graves holding up a sign that says "pee-pee in my Coke," so he knows what to do.
Yep. Just
awful.
Vince getting more aggressive with every moment.
All right, Eric. I feel like there was a TLC joke in there that you were gonna make. What?
The T stands for teabag.
Oh no!
Oh no.
God!
Oh my God!
He went there.
Teabag and chairs. We're so
look,
close.
I just don't understand why they're getting so testy.
Oh.
Oh, God, here we go.
AJ's been getting the shaft.
It's always the silent ones you got to look out for, man. Eric stays very silent, and then all of a sudden he comes up with something that's just like, okay, that's the phrase of the night.
That was great. I appreciate that. The other thing I think we should all appreciate before we head out. Let me see. Can I get to the messenger? Come on, messenger.
Right. Oh yes, God, you're not gonna do this.
Which one? Which one, Kat? Which one should I show them? All right, let's see if I can
Why not?
If I can find them in time.
Why not? Fat girl in little coat.
All right, so here's a picture of Eric in high school.
Middle school.
Oh, even worse. And by worse, I mean it only gets worse the younger you go because the pictures are more embarrassing. But he's down there. Right here.
1993.
He has the look on his face like somebody just told him lunch was free today. He's so happy.
Not the lunch at our school.
And he has the hair on this side of his head instead of on the bottom half. That's the big difference. Is the hair went from here down to the bottom half. The other one, that's Kat.
I cannot believe that's you.
It looks.
Yeah.
You were the black woman from The Matrix. What happened? How did you become the black woman from The Matrix and then become you?
That is hilarious.
Not too far in the future.
I'm a Baricua, remember?
Yes, that the hair is so curly. Yeah. Wow.
That's what my hair really looks like, darling.
Wow.
Ask Eric. That's what my hair looked like every day.
Man, that's what if I grow my hair out and it gets humid, that's what my hair looks like.
Yep,
I'm Italian though, so I mean I'm not Puerto Rican.
That was my hair. That was the before braces.
Ah, there you go.
So once the braces came, I lost all the weight because I couldn't eat a goddamn thing.
There you go. That's a
was
tip for you kids.
This is when I still liked food, you know.
I understand. Well, this has been an enlightening episode. We should we'll
they
get more of
spelled my last name wrong. They spelled my last name wrong.
Oh, that's awful. Well, it's a good thing they spelled your last name wrong because now nobody can Google you based on this podcast.
Mm-hmm. It's all good. Okay.
There you go.
Hey, everything ends up in the cloud, so someone's looking at it somewhere.
Oh, I'm too lazy to go find Amanda's picture. Her and the rest of the Spice Girls.
I'm gonna
I'll tell you what I want. What I really want.
It looked like the cast of Degrassi: The Next Generation. The picture that she shared on your high school picture that you shared on Facebook. It looked like a Degrassi picture. Like you were all on the set of Degrassi. So we need to find more high school pictures. Ryan, I'm sure, just looks the same. Degrassi is a teen drama. It's from Canada. Drake was on it.
I know Anne of Green Gables. That's about it, honey.
Drake was in a wheelchair, and for the longest time, I was like, man, good for that wheelchair guy for finally making it in rap. I wonder how his stage shows are. I was legit.
Wait, Drake's a musician?
Yes, Drake is
Okay.
not in a wheelchair. He played a character that was in a wheelchair, but I didn't know Drake before the thing, so I just always assumed when I heard Drake's music that he was just a dude in a wheelchair singing.
I'm not in a wheelchair, but I play one on TV. Got ya.
That's what. Yeah, it's like the kid from Glee. So we'll have to find more high school pictures.
Party!
Ryan's gonna look exactly the same in his high school picture as he does now.
I want to see that Steve's pictures have hair.
Oh yeah, we got to see Steve's picture. Mine, I won't have a beard, and I'll probably be fat. So we'll have to find those and share them next
I'm
week.
gonna have to find some.
There you go. Yeah, you had one up from wherever you guys were, some scenic Canadian
Wonderland.
theme park. Yeah, there you are. Wonderland. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. There's a Matt Hardy ride. You just fly into Matt Hardy's mouth and as you go in. All right, so we're getting towards the top of the hour. It's almost 8:00. Thank you guys for sticking with us, even though we talked about ball bag bongos and high school pictures. We still did eventually get to talking wrestling. But we're here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. on Eastern Time. You can go to youtube.com, search for Tag Me a Date, all one word, Tag Me a Date, no spaces, just push it all together. You'll see the Tag Me a Date page. You can hit the subscribe button to subscribe, hit the bell so you'll be alerted when we go live or upload the video. And otherwise, you should go to tagmeadate.com and sign up. It is absolutely free. Free registration, and with a roster of over 80,000 superstars and divas all over the world, or should I say worldwide, you can find your tag team match on tagmeadate.com. Upload a profile picture, upload a promo video, and search for your tag team partner. And if you have a question for us, like the one that was asked earlier by 3LW, no, that's a band from the 90s, from VSW. Thank you for your question.
Color me bad.
Yeah. If you're a member of Color Me Bad, send us an email to AskTheWarReport@gmail.com. You will be entered into our WrestleRumble.com pay-per-view pick'em. So you'll get one free entry into our WrestleRumble.com pick'em if you are our question of the month. So keep sending those in to AskTheWarReport@gmail.com or tag me a date on social media and use the hashtag AskTheWarReport. So with all that said, we'll see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Eastern Time. And thank you for listening.